Hello, my muffins of love. Welcome to my living room. Today, we're changing it up a little bit, and you're joining me in my living room on the couch. I don't know why I decided to do this, because between my ring light, the TV light, and the overhead light, I feel like I'm going blind. It's fine. Please also ignore all of this chaotic mess behind me. In today's video, kids, we should do our intro, shouldn't we? Hi, my little babies. Welcome back to another episode of What the Smut? One from you. I have absolutely no reason why I decided to record in here instead of recording in front of my backdrop thingy. I kind of just wanted to be more comfortable. Hi. In today's video, this is the book that we're going to be reviewing, The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. This is the first book in her Dreamland Billionaires series. There are currently 3 books out for this series. If I'm not mistaken, it's a completed series. I don't think there will be any more after the most recent book, which was called Final Offer. This is book 1, The Fine Print. Book 2 is Terms and Conditions, and book 3 is called Final Offer. Now, did I write down any details for this book? No, I did not. Are you surprised? Are you surprised? I'll be right back. Candace, you're on a roll. This book and all the books in the series are free to read with KU. If you want to purchase this book for your Kindle, you can get it for the price of $4.99. If you want this trade paperback that I'm currently holding, which is, mine is a little wonky, but I'm hoping I can scrub off whatever the fuck that is. If you want this lovely trade paperback, which these covers are very pretty. If you want this trade paperback, you can get it right now for $13.49. That's a fucking steal. Well, it's a steal for trade paperbacks, like, as a whole. But when you take into consideration that you can buy this book at Walmart, which is another amazing thing for Lauren, like, obviously the books were picked up by a traditional publisher, Bloom Books, and they've been, like, mass produced. And you can find them in every Walmart, probably Target, I don't know. But I know I've seen this book at Walmart. I don't know how much it is at Walmart. It's probably around the same price, like $13. So 6 of one, half a dozen of another, right? Now, according to this, no, before that, this book is also available in audio. I listened to the audio. The audio is narrated by Desiree Ketchum and Aiden Snow. I have not listened to many audiobooks narrated by Aiden Snow. If I have, I didn't know it was him at the time. Because it wasn't until recently that I was able to put the name with the voice. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I have heard him before. But they both do a really good job with this audiobook. So I was actually really happy listening to this audio. I had no issues. I would recommend the audio to people. If you like audiobooks, give this one a shot. Now, according to Amazon, this book has 448 pages. Just because we're in a new location doesn't mean that I'm not gonna do it. I'm still gonna do it. According to Candace's book that she's physically holding, there's 436 pages. Anyway, now I'm gonna read you guys the blurb, and then, as I have been doing, I will read you guys my notes from my reading journal, which is a fucking mess. Look at this. It's fine. It'll be fine. I'm gonna read you guys the blurb first. Let's see. The two main characters in this book are Rowan and Zara. So the first POV of the blurb is from Rowan's point of view. I'm in the business of creating fairy tales, theme parks, production companies, 5-star hotels. Everything could be all mine if I renovated Dreamland. My initial idea of hiring Zara was good in theory, but then I kissed her. Things spiraled out of control once I texted her using an alias. By the time I realized where I went wrong, it was too late. People like me don't get happy endings, not when we're destined to ruin them. Part 2, Zara. After submitting a drunk proposal criticizing Dreamland's most expensive ride, I should have been fired. Instead, Rowan Kane offered me a dream job. The catch? I had to work for the most difficult boss I've ever met. Rowan was rude and completely off limits, but my heart didn't care, at least not until I discovered his secret. It was time to teach the billionaire that money couldn't fix everything, especially not us. As you can clearly see, the two main characters for this book are Rowan and Zara. Now, here are the individual characteristics that I wrote down for the two characters. For Zara, I wrote Armenian, hairdresser, ex-Lance cheated with boss's daughter, friend Claire, and then in parentheses I wrote lesbian. She is a lesbian. She is. Sister Ani has Down syndrome. Romance novel reader. That's what I wrote. Now, for Rowan. One of 3 heirs to Disney-like theme park. 2 brothers, Declan and Cal. Asshole. Now, I did write down that Declan is the oldest and that he seems to be the most responsible one, and that Cal is the middle child, and it alludes to him having some kind of substance abuse issues. So I don't know why I like the damaged ones the best. So I have a feeling Cal will probably end up being my favorite, but we'll see. Now, I'm going to read you guys my notes. I'm not going to break in and explain anything until the end because I wrote a lot of notes. Okay, so it says, Rowan, youngest of 3 brothers, grandfather and owner of Disney-like theme park Dreamland, just died after being in coma from accident. Rowan, an asshole. Unfeeling. And then I wrote sociopathic with a question mark because it was as of yet undetermined. Gets info at will reading that he and his brothers have to complete individual tasks to inherit their 18% of the park shares. Rowan must become park director and create project for 6 months. At end, board will vote. If project is good, he gets shares. If not, they go to his father, whom he hates. Meets female lead Zara at early morning meeting. She comes in late. They bicker. She calls him an asshole. Now, keeping in mind, I don't remember if she knows who he is when she calls him an asshole. I don't think so. But Zara is very ballsy, and so it's quite possible that she did know who he was. I can't remember that part. Okay. Doesn't know who he is. I said I wasn't going to break in, and I'm doing it anyway. Candace, stop. All right. Doesn't know who he is. She's hairstylist in resort salon. Rowan opens up submissions of ideas from plebs at park. Claire forces Zara into submitting idea. Had one she was working with Brady that was stolen by ex-Lance. Brady is Rowan's grandfather, the one that died. Drunkenly submits new one, tearing apart the idea X stole. Gets called into meeting with Rowan. Inner monologue has her staring at his firm bubble butt. And then I wrote LOL. Instead of firing her, he offers her job on creative team, starts to lurk around her cubicle, makes fun of her drawing skills. She spurs him to draw again. Here, what? Oh, he redoes, I can't even read my own fucking handwriting. He redoes one of her sketches, but pretends he got it from someone else. Zara demands to contact him, gives him her number. He texts her as Scott. They chat. He investigates motives behind a new program she wants. Helps people with special needs. He pairs with Sister Ani, who has Down syndrome. Zara tells Scott about how badly employees are treated, pay, insurance, etc. He investigates. Goes with Zara on tour of park as guest. They argue. He feels guilty. Tells her that he's Scott. She flips. Is going to resign. He tells her to let him explain. She goes to his house. He explains his trust issues. She forgives him. They have sex. They go out to dinner. Runs into her ex Lance. Rowan tells him he's being transferred to their Shanghai branch. They have dinner with her family. Takes her on trip to NYC to meet her fave author. She sees snow for first time. Tells him about being depressed after Lance. Became suicidal. Had to go to therapy. Got her pins after that. She has like a backpack, like a messenger bag that's constantly decorated with like different pins. And every day she comes to work, she has on a different, like a pin on her shirt that each one has meanings for her. And she started collecting these pins after her time battling depression. Okay, let's see. First pin on first day of therapy. Okay. They get back to Florida and Zara gets sick from playing in Central Park snow. Collapses at Rowan's apartment. He calls 911. Realizes he's gotten too attached. Is cold to her in hospital. They argue and break up. Ani stops responding to his messages. Zara won't either. Zara gets letter from Brady. She's chosen for board. Rowan goes to meeting and pitches plan that revolves around employees. Zara tells his father to fuck off. Okay, I'm really quick gonna break in here. I loved that part. I laughed so hard and listened, like rewound the audiobook so I could listen to it 2 or 3 times, because there's a part at the end of the board meeting where she tells his father to his face. I think she says something like, it had the word fuck like twice. Like, fuck you, you fuck. Or fuck the fuck off. Right, so I thought that part was really funny. So it bared mentioning. She told him his father to fuck off. Okay. The board votes yes. He plans to stay as director. Zara agrees to come over to talk. He tells her he loves her. She forgives him. Epilogue. They're married and opening new ride. She tells him she's pregnant. Epilogue 2. Yes, there were 2 epilogues. There was like an extended epilogue. They have daughter and she's pregnant with son. The end. So that's the basic plot of the fine print. Now, I will say, prior to going into this book, I had absolutely no idea what it was about. I know for sure I did not read the blurb before I started this book. I started reading this book based solely off of recommendations from other people on Bookstagram. It's obviously popular for a reason, right? Now I know sometimes that happens with like TikTok hits, and I'm not a fan of those books because it's a trap. It never works out well. But in this case, I actually really liked this book. I would give it a solid 9 out of 10, and I would recommend it to other people. I'm really excited for the audio to come out for the second book, which I have no idea when that's going to happen, but when it does, I will read and review the second book. The basic premise revolves around a park very similar to Disney. Rowan is a very cold, very stoic person. And especially in the beginning, he's a dick. He tries to be standoffish throughout the majority of the book. Obviously, it doesn't work out well for him because he has like a little obsession with her, right? She is a gives no fuck type person, Zara. She shows up late. She talks back to him constantly, which I really appreciated because obviously if you're gonna be an asshole alpha, then I'm gonna be a sassy heroine, right? So she talks back to him constantly. They have a lot of really good banter between the two of them. The whole him texting as Scott thing, listen, I love texting in books. When the two main characters are texting each other, that's just like the whole like letter writing thing. Like when someone writes someone a letter, oh my God, I love it so much. I don't know why. I think it's because I feel like when they're texting or when they're writing in letters, their inhibitions are lowered. And so they say stuff they wouldn't normally say, right? Him, especially in this book, when he's literally pretending to be someone else, he's able to speak to her about things that he himself, Rowan, could not talk about face to face. Rowan, as a child, was a very creative individual. His skills at drawing were astronomical. His father, after the death of his mother, his father essentially turned into a cold, nasty motherfucker. He would constantly tell Rowan how weak he was. He would constantly tell him, like, essentially that, like, man up mentality. Yeah. Like, your creative side, squash it. You're going to be a businessman. You're going to run this company. You're going to do Fortune 500 type shit. That he was that type of father. So all of the creativity in Rowan was snuffed out at an early age. The only person who ever indulged that creativity or treated him with any kindness was his grandfather. And towards the end of his grandfather's life, his grandfather Brady came to the realization that while the park overall was making money and was very successful, the employees were not being well taken care of. There were so many areas of the park that lacked, and the majority of that was the people that worked there. They weren't being paid well. Their insurance was absolutely terrible. They were worked to the bone and underappreciated. And he was trying to hands-on fix those problems, which is how Zara knew Brady. He was working with her because he recognized that she had creative ideas, and he was working with her to bring one of those ideas to fruition. That idea was the one that was stolen by her ex and submitted, and it was turned into a ride. So he got all the credit for that. She got none. She became very depressed. She had to go into therapy. Eventually she came out of it on the other side, better than she was, but she still has obviously lingering trauma from that. Now she also found out that her ex was cheating on her, which, thank you for kicking me while I'm down, you dickhead. So obviously she was mentally fucked up from that. Now, they both as characters, they both kind of fed off each other and stimulated each other. And no, I'm not talking about sexually, even though, yes, they did do that. And it was hot. But creatively, they fed off of each other and they stimulated each other. He would take her designs that were god-awful and he would redraw them and reimagine them the way that he knew it was like they were in tune with each other. He knew what she meant when she tried to put these things down on paper. And he would take the vision that she saw in her head and he would put it down, bring it to life, basically. And she opened his eyes as to what was going on around the park, the same way that Brady had become aware of. So it isn't until his interest in Zara becomes more serious that it humanizes him. He begins to feel empathy for other people. He realizes that these people are not being treated well, and that's our responsibility. Even though we're making money, our employees are miserable. And at the end of the day, our whole motto is family. Our employees should be treated like family. And you don't treat family like this. You know what I'm saying? So his end proposal that he pitches to the board is essentially revolving everything around the employees of the park and making it so that they're happier, which will then make them more productive and make the guests happier. And it's like a more inclusive, like he wants to make things more inclusive for people like Ani, Zara's sister, who has Downs, and other like handicap accessible type things. Like the park had none of that to begin with. So he adds that into his proposal, and it makes for a more humanizing project. And obviously the board likes it, which it turns out Brady handpicked the people who would sit on this board, one of which is his father. And it turns out Brady had also chosen Rowan's assistant as one of the members of the board. I don't know if she knew ahead of time. No, well, she knew ahead of time. She would also low-key help him grow as a person, just in like a mothering kind of way. But overall, I thought this book was really good. I really enjoyed it. Will I say, did it live up to the hype that surrounds it? Yeah, probably. I think that it has a lot of potential, this series, and I'm really excited to see what's going to happen in Declan and Cal's books. I can already see that Declan and his assistant will have, like, his assistant is a woman, and I can already tell that there's like chemistry there, so I feel like that's going to be his love interest. But he's like a terminal playboy, and so if I'm not mistaken, his task is going to revolve something around he has to get married. And so he's looking for a wife. I forget what Cal's task was, but I'm really excited to see where the series goes, and I will probably end up buying all 3 of the books in the series because I feel like they're going to be just that good. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Anything else? No? I think that's all. I thank you guys so much for joining me for another episode. If you like me and you like my channel, please consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it. If you would like, you can follow me on social media. I am super active on Instagram, but I also have a Twitter and a Facebook page devoted to this channel. If you would like, I will link them all in the description box below, and I will put a little banner here on the screen for you guys to see. If you're interested in checking out some of my bookish merch, I do have a Teespring shop, which I will link below and put a little link here on the screen for you guys to see. I think that's it. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode. I really appreciate it. Thank you for joining me here in my living room. I don't know if I will record here again. The setup, not my favorite. But anyway, I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye. Candace, you're fucking up. You just hit play and you're already fucking up. Okay. Let's just go, okay? The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. Is that her name? Yeah. Now, how the hell did I already get something all over this book? Or is that, what the fuck is that? There's like, fucking Amazon, I swear to God. I'm pretty sure that this is like glue. Oh, What the fuck? I hate Amazon so much. Have I said that today? How much I loathe Amazon? Look at this. Look at, what the fuck is that? What is that? All over the spine and the back. Do you see this? What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Anyway, okay, let's try this again, shall we? Okay, now. Okay. Not bad. Not bad, not bad, not bad. I have, let's see how many books we have to review. I still have to do Teacher by Fiona Cole, Twisted Love by Anna Wong, Dr. Grant by Katharine Amara, Hooked and Scarred by Emily McIntyre. That just goes to show you how far behind I am in recording. Dear God. Listen, I can only do what I can do, okay? And life is stressful, so get off my back. You're not on my back. It's fine. I love you. I'm gonna go, but I thank you so much for joining me, and oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. I love you so much. Bye. Clickety click, 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 click.